For years, Battlefield fans haven't been asking for more guns or another battle pass. They've been asking for something much simpler, to make Battlefield feel like, well, Battlefield again. Not because the old games were perfect, but because they created moments that no other shooter could. The kind of moments you still talk about years later. And a lot of those moments came from persistent servers, where you face the same guy over and over in a sniper warfare or an intense tank battle and you're always gunning for the same guy, or he just so happens to be on your team and you guys talk crap to each other because of last game. Now with today's update, it's bringing back one of Battlefield's biggest features. And for the first time in a while, it feels like Battlefield is remembering what made people fall in love with it in the first place. After spending some time with the update, does it actually deliver? Or are we just excited because we finally have something new? Let's find out. I think before we even talk about what's new, we have to understand why people are so excited in the first place. Battlefield has always been different, sure. It has good gunplay, it has vehicles, and it has classes. A lot of games can relate to that, but none of those things are what made Battlefield itself. What made it special were the situations you found yourself in that no other game could compete with, like a jet flying overhead while a tank crashes through a building, a helicopter landing just in time to save you and your homies, or just watching an entire battle unfold around you while complete chaos somehow still feels coordinated-ish. It's not coordinated, but you know what I'm talking about. That's the Battlefield experience people have been chasing for years. So when the update was announced, people weren't just excited about new content, they were excited about the possibility of getting those moments back, because with the last few updates, we haven't seen the true making of Battlefield like we have with this update. Okay, on paper, this update adds a lot. There's new vehicles, naval warfare, a brand new environment, and a handful of gameplay improvements and new weapons. But I don't think any of those features are exciting on their own. Well, okay, they might be, but they're exciting because what they enable. Battlefield has always been at its best when every part of the sandbox starts interacting with each other. You're not thinking, I'm going to drive this specific vehicle. You're reacting to whatever is happening around you. Sure, you might sprint for the vehicle and find yourself in the back passenger seat, not being the driver, and you kind of get disappointed. But the next minute, you're pushing an objective. Then after that, you're defending Objective Butter, shout out to Battlefield 1, from an attack coming in from air and, well, now sea. That's the unpredictability Battlefield has always been known for, and after playing, that's the feeling I kept coming back to. After spending a few hours with the update, I think there's one question that matters more than anything else. Does this actually feel like Battlefield again? For me, there were a few moments where I completely stopped thinking about the update itself. I wasn't looking for bugs, wasn't analyzing the balance, and I wasn't comparing it to the older games or older versions of the game. I was just playing. And honestly, that's probably the biggest compliment I can give it. There were moments where the chaos just happened naturally. Vehicles crossing paths, explosions everywhere, buildings falling apart, which is just known for Battlefield. And those are the moments Battlefield has always done better than almost anyone else. Now, that doesn't mean everything is perfect, because there are definitely some things that stood out to me. As much as I enjoyed my time with the update, I don't think Battlefield is completely back just yet. There are still moments that break the immersion, whether that's balancing flow, performance maybe, or just systems that still need more time to be developed. I don't think the update fixes every issue the community has had, but I also don't think that's what it needed to do. Sometimes a game doesn't need one massive change, sometimes it just needs to remind people why they loved it in the first place. And I think this update gets surprisingly close to doing exactly that. Battlefield 6 worked with streamers and even paid a large portion of them to play the game, and almost none of them stuck with it after their contract was up. So instead of Battlefield trying to compete with other games with RedSec and other game modes, they are finally releasing persistent servers with proper hosting, admin configurations, and more, which means they are also finally listening to the community. This is extremely exciting. When games stop listening to the streamer complaints and hype, they will be able to actually hear the community. And that's the Battlefield I remember playing back in the day. The biggest thing I took away from this update wasn't a new vehicle or a new mechanic or even the new guns that came out. All of those things are very exciting, but it was more of a feeling. For the first time in a long time, Battlefield felt comfortable being, well, Battlefield. Not trying to copy anyone else, not trying to chase trends, just leaning into the giant sandbox moments that made the series famous in the first place. It's an arcade shooter, why wouldn't it do that? Is it perfect? No. Does it still have work to do? Absolutely, what game doesn't? But if this is the direction Battlefield is starting to head in, I think there's a lot to be excited about, because these kinds of moments, the ones you don't script, the ones you don't expect, those are the moments people remember years later, and that's always been Battlefield's biggest strength. Now, if you're wondering exactly what was added in today's update, let's quickly run through some of the biggest additions, because there are quite a few and it's a bit packed into this season, so let's just get started. First up, Naval Warfare is officially back, not as its own separate mode, but as part of Battlefield's core sandbox. You'll know by fighting across land, air, and sea, with boats becoming another way to push objectives and create those unpredictable Battlefield moments like we talked about earlier. Speaking of maps, we're getting to Suru Reef, currently the biggest Battlefield map available, designed around massive combined arms gameplay with benches, islands, open water, infantry routes, aircraft, armor, and naval combat all happening in the same match, just to name a few. If you're a longtime Battlefield player, Wake Island is also returning later this season, I believe in the second patch or update, one of the most iconic maps in Battlefield history. And that's something I'm very excited about. There's also a brand new dynamic wave system, which means the ocean isn't just decoration anymore. The conditions at sea actually change throughout the match, affecting how boats move and how naval engagements play out. On the vehicle side, we're getting new naval vehicles, including the RHIB assault boat and the RCB-90 patrol boat, giving squads even more options when attacking or defending objectives from the water. Beyond the new season though, EA also confirmed that community requested features like persistent servers, as mentioned earlier, a proper server browser, platoons, proximity chat, multiplayer ranked, and additional map improvements are also all part of the roadmap moving forward. And honestly, that might be the biggest takeaway from all of this. Not any one map, not any one vehicle, but the fact that Battlefield finally feels like it's building updates around what the community has been asking for since the start. Hopefully that's something we continue to see long after this season ends. Now, obviously, there's a lot more included in the patch notes that I have not covered. Balance changes, bug fixes, weapon tuning, and even UI improvements. But these were the changes that I think will have the biggest impact on how Battlefield actually plays and develops throughout the rest of Season 4, so happy playing to you guys. Now, I'm really curious what you all think. After playing the update, do you think Battlefield is finally heading back in the right direction? Or do you think there's still something missing? I genuinely love to hear your thoughts because this is one of those updates that I think people are going to have very different opinions on. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate a like, and if you're new around here, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.